This clip is sponsored by Wash and Go, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, I'm surrounded by a sea of green. By now you should know that Wash and Go is the best way to look after your luscious locks. I mean, look at what it's done for mine. Fantastic. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at some of the 600 plus unreal reviews on their Amazon page. Linda from the United Kingdom says, well, it smells lush and leaves hair smelling fresh. Fantastic, Linda. Kindle customer JSB says, product arrived as advertised. Always very important. Always important to know that, Kindle customer JSB. And finally, my personal favourite, it's shampoo and it works for me. Absolutely fantastic there from Casey. It is indeed shampoo and also a conditioner. If you want to get your Wash and Go today, then hit the link in the description and get your bottle sent to you today. And remember, it's a shampoo and it works for me. Enjoy stories we've been discussing for the last 2 weeks. So it'll be good to compare what you're hearing as well. So if we start off with Timber, we did a video a couple of weeks ago where it was about Ten Hag really wants Timber. Timber's open to a move to Manchester United, but the difficulty will be Ajax and what they think. You've done a tweet this morning. What can you give us the latest on what's happening with Timber to Manchester United?
Yes, I tweeted what I'm told, and I was told even a few days ago that Timber name has been mentioned in the meetings between Erik ten Hag and Manchester United board. It's a name that they are now seriously considering internally at Manchester United. It's still at early stages with Ajax, because I don't see Ajax accepting less than 45, 50 million euros for Timber this summer. So that's why at the moment it's complicated. Then we know we are still in May and the transfer window is still so long, so things could change. But it's not an easy negotiation, so it's still at the early stages. But for sure, he's a target for Manchester United. He's a player as high in the list because, as we know, the relationship with Ten Hag is great, and it would be important to have that kind of talent of player in that position with Ten Hag, who knows him very well. So Timber is in the list. Pau Torres is in the list too. Let me add on Timber that there is a point, there is a really important one, is about Ajax. Because as I mentioned, they want 45, 50 million, no less than this. But also, they're ready to offer him a new short-term deal in case he will stay at the club. It means that they're already prepared in case the player will be ready to stay for one more season and maybe leave next summer for a higher fee to offer him a new deal. So this is why the situation at the moment is still open. But I'm 100% sure that now he's a player that Manchester United are considering.
And in relation to that contract, I think his current one runs till 2024. So this new contract would be presumably higher wages to let him go next year so they can get more money for him.
Yes, this will be the plan. Something similar happened with Bremer and Torino a few months ago in Italy. So it's something normal now. These clubs are doing like this. They extend maybe for 1 or 2 years, and then they have the possibility to sell the player in a more relaxed way for a higher fee, as you mentioned, but with a different salary for one more season. But this only in case it stays, of course. So at the moment, let's keep Manchester United interest absolutely and enjoy Timber.
And have you heard anything from Timber's side at all as to what he would like to do? Because obviously he's got two choices there. He can stay for a bit more money or he can leave. And we've heard Bayern Munich in the past. You know, do you think he will? Because the player is very important if he wants to go. Ajax are the sort of club that they will sell, won't they? Ajax, that's just the way they are.
Yes, let me say that from what I'm told, this guy is really respectful. He's kind of Ajax guy, and we know how they are. It's the same with Donny van de Beek and many others that we see around Europe doing great things, like Matthijs de Ligt, and he's with the same style. So I don't see him going to fight with Ajax. He respects the club, he respects the new manager, the board, and so he's not going to fight. Of course, Manchester United and these kind of clubs are a dream for him, but at the same point, he's not going to force the club. So it's up to Ajax now. It's up to Ajax and Manchester United to see if they will be able to find an agreement. But for sure, on Timber's side, that won't be a problem. Champions League football, for example, is not a problem for Timber. It's just him that wants to understand what Ajax want to do with his future.
Yeah. And as we've mentioned many times before, and I'm glad you said that respect word, Manchester United, Ajax, they have a very respectful relationship anyway. So I think that be interesting to see how it develops, Fabrizio, because it may be something that happens quickly. It may be something that takes some time.
Yes, the timing, you never know in the transfer market. Sometimes things happen quickly when you don't expect. And so it could be the case for the centre-back at Manchester United, because I'm told that for Ten Hag is a really key point to decide on a centre-back as soon as possible. But also, you have to be smart in negotiations. We mentioned Timber, but it's the same with Pau Torres. Pau Torres has a release clause for 55 million euros, almost 60 million euros. But the intention is to have the possibility to negotiate with Villarreal. So to open a direct talk and have a different kind of agreement with the club in case Pau Torres will join Manchester United. So the timing of the negotiation, we don't know, but for sure, Erik ten Hag wants a centre-back as soon as possible because it's a key point for Manchester United.
In relation to Torres, I heard that this was either or. This is not by both. This is you get Timber. If you don't get Timber, you get Torres, or you decide to go and get Torres and you don't get Timber. Is that what you're hearing as well? This is not Manchester United going to buy both centre-backs?
I don't know, honestly. I don't have this information, but my opinion is the same. It's going to be complicated to spend a lot of money on two players like Timber and Torres. It makes no sense maybe this summer. This is just my opinion. Then I don't know. Maybe they will decide to do it. But at the moment, they are having contacts on both sides. For sure, Pau Torres wants to play in Premier League football. Last year, he had a big opportunity with Tottenham, but he said no because he wanted to play Champions League football with Villarreal. Was his dream and was a pretty decent campaign for him with Villarreal. But now the feeling is different. He's ready for this Premier League move. He would be ready in case Manchester United will decide to make an official proposal. At the moment, there are contacts, but still nothing at the advanced stages, So we need to wait a bit and see what happens with both Pau and Timber. But my personal opinion is complicated to see Manchester United spending maybe, 80, 90 million on two centre-backs. Okay, Timber can play also right back sometimes, but his position is centre-back. So this is why I think, as you mentioned, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, we spoke a few weeks ago, didn't we? And we were talking about the budget for Manchester United will maybe be around 120 million. And if you spend 90 on centre-backs and you want a midfielder and a centre-forward, it does become difficult. It does become difficult. We'll see what happens with the centre-back situation. I do want to talk about Darwin Núñez, but I suppose the bigger story it came from Spain a few weeks ago. I think it was Jared Romero who put it out there about this. He was 95% sure a few weeks ago that Manchester United would sign Frankie de Jong. What's the latest on Frankie?
Player side, honestly, the issues on player side, and the answer I'm getting even today morning is the same. Nothing has changed at the moment. So it's still something slow. It's not something easy or something imminent for Frankie to Manchester United. I'm sure that he's in Manchester United list. I'm sure that they mentioned his name in the first meeting with Erik ten Hag. So in April with Erik ten Hag, they had already direct contact and he was mentioned. Erik would love to have him, but on player side, still nothing changed. So I'm sure that Manchester United will try. When you want a player like this, when Erik is pushing to have a player like Frankie de Jong could change the future of the club, because he's not just a player. Let me say that Frankie de Jong is a player who's able to change the feeling around the club, change the mentality of the team. It's something different. It's not just a signing, but it's like a statement. It's like a message to the dressing room and to the fans and many other things. So this is why Manchester United, I'm sure they will try. Erik is trying in every single way to have this possibility to change his mind and to convince Frankie to play for Manchester United. Let me say that Frankie is respectful with Manchester United, but it's about Champions League football. This guy is desperate for Champions League football. We know that last season for Barcelona was not a great one. He had to play Europa League football in the second part of the season. So he's desperate, really desperate for Champions League football. But because of the financial situation, as you mentioned, Barcelona would be open to discuss with clubs. They already had contacts with Manchester United, but it's up to
sort of have to say, look, we want to sell you, or do you think they're trying to raise money another way? Because it's a bit of a standoff at the moment because everyone knows what they want, but something's got to change somewhere, hasn't it?
Yes, they need to take a position, even because of Barcelona, as you mentioned, the financial situation of Barcelona. They need to sell some player. And if it's not Frankie, there's to be some other player in the team. So I'm sure that this week will be important to meet and discuss and understand internally at Barcelona what they want to do. They're trying to understand the next steps because they're negotiating for Lewandowski, they are dreaming of Rafinha, but still not able to complete any negotiation because of this financial situation. So I'm sure that they will discuss with the young agents soon, but let's see what will happen on player side. Because again, today morning, I was told that the player wants to play Champions League. So let's see. It's not an easy one, but a manager like Erik ten Hag is kind of manager who could be able to change your mind. So I would keep this situation open. It's still really early. It feels like August, but it's still May. So we have to wait a bit and see what happens in the coming weeks.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It does. Manchester United fans are desperate for us to sign somebody, but I know. And I know we do need to act early because we've got a lot to do. But we'll talk about that in a minute. Darwin Núñez. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.